Hello, Jim here, talking about benefits and challenges of gaming in instruction. I'm a big fan of it. I remember being in elementary school playing Math Blaster just for the fun of it, not realizing that I was increasing my math skills at the same time. So I'm definitely a fan of it. And it's actually now a lot more broadly used. It's incorporated now even in college levels and even in very serious, high-performing jobs. For example, Hobrecht et al. In 2018 did a study where they took 116 surgical students and they took the intervention group and they had them practice a game that simulates a chest tube insertion. And at the end of the study, they found that that intervention group, they performed the job much more efficiently, much more time efficiently. The students were more comfortable using the tools. They required less assistance. And they thought that the reasoning goes back to a lot of the reasonings that we read in the book about the positives of gaming. That has to do with things like increasing student self-motivation, making fun experiences, the self-assessment aspect of it, and also the instant feedback is also really important for students so that they can make corrections on the spot rather than having to wait for something to get graded and get it back later. Obviously, most of those pros about gaming really only happen if you go through the proper steps to implement gaming. That is, you find the right game as an instructor, you test it, you make sure that it flows with your curriculum and with your assessment. You also then have to develop objectives and assessments around them. You can't just give your students a game and say, hey, play this, go learn things. You need to actually make sure that you are paying attention to what they're learning and how it fits into your curriculum. And then after, a certain amount of time, you need to evaluate and adjust. Was that game good? Was it bad? Did we do it too long? Were there certain instances where children became more or less interested in the topic because of the game? So you have to constantly be asking those questions if you're implementing games. And you also have to think of some of the challenges or cons. The main one being the inequity of some of the students to be able to play those games. They may not have access to a tablet or fast internet at the home. They may not have parents who have the time and expertise to help them in that game. Either they just don't know the topic or they're not IT savvy enough to actually help their students be able to play those games. So that's one of the major challenges. Some of the other challenges are when you don't follow those steps I listed earlier and teachers just hand out games without following through, without paying attention to objectives, without making sure that the students are gaining something, they're gaining those skills from the game. So to summarize, definitely a fan of gaming and instruction, but it needs to be done thoughtfully and it needs to be followed through with to make sure that the game that you're assigning, the students are actually increasing their knowledge and they're excited about what it is that they're learning. So that's all I've got to say. Thank you.